Hi, my name's Katie and welcome to my channel. I've got AB, or Adrian's fish room, here today. As you can see, we are outside his garage here.
What used to be a garage.
What used to be a garage, which is now just a fish tank oasis. Adrian keeps heaps of beautiful fish. He does a lot of breeding with them. But the biggest thing about this space is that it's actually relatively low maintenance, even though it might not look that way. But he's got a way of keeping a beautiful, harmonious balance between all of the fish and the tanks and the life in this room. We're gonna run you through some of these tanks and show you exactly how AB does that, so you can see how these fish are not just living, but actually thriving.
Give you my take on it. It's not anything other than my opinion mostly, but it seems to work.
But yeah, and we are almost at 100,000 subs, very, very close. So if you want to subscribe, if you like this video and you think this content's good, yeah, I'd love you guys to join the community. So welcome to the fish room.
Yeah.
Fish garage.
It has changed a bit. I used to have a gym here, I think the last time you were here, didn't I?
Yeah, that was your big plan.
Yeah, that was the
get
rid of the gym. And I did finally, which was awesome. And then the tanks just sort of came along when I got the 6-footer. And I've got videos on my channel just about setting all of them up. The 6-footer and then Pleco towers. That was actually from Pet Barn. They basically got rid of their fish room or updated their fish room. That was free.
I put all free?
Free, all of it. Yep, got the L397 Plecos at the top. And they eat timber, and you can see how clean the timber is, but look at all across there.
That's
so
long.
I will siphon that out.
It's like a substrate.
Yeah, it is like a substrate, isn't it? I know. So I'll get that out of there at some point in time when I get motivated. Guys, here are the L333s, which you might see one tail sitting out here, which is, you know, even see the peppermints there whilst the sun's on him. See on the log there. But I've got paradise fish down the bottom. I'll move my this tripod again for you.
These are beautiful little fish. You don't see them all that often either, but...
No.
I think you had them in the ponds last time.
I did, yeah, and they came from Duthie, and thought I had a girl in there, but I think they're all boys, unfortunately. I haven't been able to breed them, and I thought they would. But anyway...
got big tummies.
They have got big tummies, haven't they? I do feed them well. Their guts as they hoe into the food, and you've got they're the common Pleco, same things. They're gluttons. Very happy to be fed, those guys.
And that's such a cool thing about the aquarium hobby too, is there's just so much variety of the types of fish that you can get. You can get colourful fish, you can get spotty fish, and they also have different purposes. Like you see this guy cleaning along the algae. That can kind of help to keep your maintenance down, having those different varieties of fish in your little ecosystem. And
you got like, you know, pretty ones that like to show off, like angels and Acaras and then tetras, and I really enjoy the freshwater. I won't ever get out of freshwater. What I will do is drop the door, find the dog, because you know what Ziggy's like, and if I leave him out there, he'll go sheriffing someone. Yeah, because the sun is beautiful coming through here, but some of these tanks, you guys might be able to see them a little bit better with the garage closed. Just quickly before we shut the garage, we might actually just show you this beautiful river tank, because the way that it shimmers in the sunlight is just so beautiful. You don't want to miss it. Yeah, very true. And so this is a pretty new setup as well. Yeah, it is. Probably, I'm going to say 6 weeks. It was a tank that I bought off Marketplace, and the lady had it set up just as the glass overflows going in there, and I saw it online. I thought, no, I've got to have it. I had an idea that it would sit across exactly where it is in the sunlight, and then I could, I didn't know exactly how I was going to scape it, but again, I've done, I think, 3 videos on how I did it, just the methods that I used, silicon, all the rocks to the back wall and the substrate, and then, how I basically got it all to stick and then got it running and then cycled it all in, and then the overflows as well. I did the same thing with the silicon. As you know, what I like to do, take the tank above the actual, the level of the glass, as you can tell with the with the one behind me in the pothos. Yeah, it's like a different climate when you walk in here. It is, so many tropical plants. It totally is. It's very tropical. Feel it. That one is a syngonium, I think it is. Good growing out of there, and of course I've got the air plants, which is perfect for the high humidity that's in there. And I just, like this dude here, I just give it a splash when I think about it. But I just really enjoy the idea of actually having the plants growing out the top. I just got to keep on pruning them really. Like, look at the roots. This is just a standard spider plant with the roots going in there, and it survives in there fine. The tetras, they love to get up in here and lay eggs and carry on, so they'll breed in there as well as the other moss that's in there. And I hid the filter pipe, standpipe behind that in there, and I decided I'd try to grow the Sawasatang vertically, and it grew beautifully. So
it is perfect.
yeah, it doesn't look nice in the way it's just filled all that space.
All these plants are part of the reason too what keeps this lower maintenance, because the plants absorb all of that excess nutrients from the tanks.
Yeah, anything that's semi-aquatic or a terrestrial plant will draw the roots. Their roots will draw the nitrates and all the rest of it and filter the water out, particularly if they're exposed to the atmosphere, and it sort of like sucks it out. I don't really have too many issues with nitrates in any of my tanks, obviously. But that was that one. And then these rocks, you see how they're all precariously positioned, but they're actually, I've stuck them all together with all silicone. And then I can take the sponge out, do what I got to do. It's probably I've only had to do it once so far in the 6 weeks, so.
And these are supplies that are relatively easy to access. All of these plants, you get them from Bunnings as well, like there's heaps of them, pothos there. You could get rocks from the garden, I suppose. Yeah,
well, I went and got these obviously from my creek, and they're not fixed, as it were, as you can tell just by that, but that's all you need. If you want to rip it out, you can rip it out, do what you need to do in the tank, and then put it back in, and it's going to continue to grow and, continue to be very happy in that position. I haven't seen that, but look, it's the Spathylomas, has flowered for the first time now.
Gorgeous.
Unfortunately, I will cut that flower off. Yeah, no, I won't. I'll cut, I think it's called the stamen inside. I'll cut the stamen off because all the pollen and it gets into the tank. Probably just cut that out and leave the back section of it. But that's the river tank. I'm very, very happy with it and spend far too long looking at it, really.
Yeah, and that's the thing, sunlight actually makes fish more colourful too. So if you have an opportunity to be able to get some sunlight in a tank with your fish, it's very beneficial. And before I forget, I also have a gift for AB. To the kind subscriber that donated this, I know who you are, and I know that I have emailed with you before, but I wasn't sure if you wanted your identity to be known or not. So feel free to comment on the video too if you, want to be known.
Thank you very much.
But thank you so much. And
thank you for bringing it down to me.
Nice carton of Cooper's beers. So we're good to go. We've got the garage door down now. We just realized something. These are not stubbies, these are long necks. I just learned something. I did ask the guy at the bottle though, I was like, wow, why are these 2.7 standard drinks? I thought they were just, oh my gosh.
Now luckily I do only have one beer in the fish room.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, Adrian really likes strong beer, I guess.
Did you show the fish you're breeding over here whilst we're talking?
AB is really big on blue Acaras.
Yeah, my babies.
Neon blue Acaras.
Yeah, they're called both electric blue Acaras and neon blue Acaras, and I don't know which one's correct. I prefer, well, I don't care really, I do call them both, so I'd have to put both captions up on the screen below now.
And that's what's really cool too about this setup, is all of AB's fish just breed. So he's got heaps of baby blue Acaras. They do, the natural setup, yeah. They're actually down in this tank here.
Yeah, so there are some more blue Acaras over there, and these guys over here, which we got some great shots of in the sun as well, and you can see it looks pretty good there in that light. So I unfortunately just lost a girl about 2 weeks ago in there, so there's 2 boys and a girl, but they were like the breeding group, and they bred 4 times in there for me, but unfortunately the panda Goedeidaes, those guys were just like wolves. They just unfortunately decimated the let them go on for it in there now, whatever they're, they might be breeding actually. They're chasing the girl, they're chasing food. I think they're chasing her.
She's going to
Yeah, so they're chasing the female there. Yeah, they're trying to breed basically. And I did a water change on them yesterday, so that would be the main trigger for them to go. They haven't bred in there for me yet, but I'd like them to. But yeah, they've killed pretty much 4 batches of Acaras at the moment, but I'm not short on Acaras. But I'm happy with that tank. It's a really nice tank.
Yeah, it's beautiful, like with the wooden stand and everything.
Yeah. And this one I'm going to do a video on just rescaping it, so as you can tell it's just so overgrown, it's not funny. And there's, Spaphyllum and pothos. Get the light back in, listen, it's covered in duckweed there as well, and there was a waterfally thing over the back there, if you can see. So that's how overgrown it is. It's just crazy, so I've got to do that, and it's sort of on my to-do list. But the sump, unfortunately, the board is pretty rotten. It's starting to sag. So I really need to take the sump out, and I have very limited room as far as what I can do in there. So I'm thinking of taking the bottom out completely, and then I'll show you the other sump in a minute, which you'll see, and putting in one of my own versions, my own DIY sump that'll actually, the heights, essentially the heights, they're so close to level it's not funny. And if I put new board in or whatever, it's going to screw up the flow. So anyway, so that's got to happen.
I was going to say too, like the thing that people might think is that it's a lot of maintenance having a big tank, but generally speaking, a bigger tank tends to be easier to maintain because things are more stable.
Yeah, I think it's way more stable. You know, the temperature drops are, you know, slower. Any ammonia spikes are slower. Nitrates slower. It's one of those ones that in fish tanks that size does matter. You know, not that the little ones aren't good. You know, like I've got the little shrimp bowl, which I'll show you up
and your
here
little
as well.
saltwater tank. But like something like this with no plants in it, that's not necessarily low maintenance.
No, it's not. The saltwater going. I've always wanted to have 2 clowns and an anemone, and not just since Nemo. It was before that, way before that. But my kids grew up with Nemo, so even then it was something that you know, influenced it. Even Mrs. Fishroom said she'd be happy for me to have a saltwater tank upstairs, but the condition got rid of every tank downstairs.
So she thought she had you on that one.
She was getting, she thought she had a bit of an
Since it was your
angle there.
Dream.
Yeah. But I'm not going to go into all the corals and, you know, famous last words, I suppose. But I don't want to have the expense or the stress of having those corals.
Yeah. So AB was saying that his friend Sean had he spent, what was it, $40,000 on corals or something, and like 20 grand on fish. That
he lost when his tank bombed.
Yes, which tends to happen in salt water.
Like a massive, you know, and I think the sea cucumber of his got in, it went up and got into the wave maker, chopped it up, killed it, both the toxin of it dying and also the toxin that's in them just crashed everything. And corals like you know, he's like corals like this big, and you know, I'll be like, oh wow, it's nice. Yeah, that's $4,500. It's like,
from what I've heard, there's a lot of things that you can get in salt water that are poisonous, and if they die, they just, you know, poison your entire tank. So you've got to be cautious.
Yeah, true.
Dabbled in salt water before, but I never stick with it because I just find it too difficult. But that's the beauty about fish keeping, is it's very individual. So for some people, they just fall in love with salt water, and that's all they keep, and they love it. And you never know, if you've never kept fish tanks before, that could be you. Maybe you just love salt water, or maybe you don't. Maybe you love planted tanks, more natural looking ones, and freshwater fish.
And perception of what's work as well.
Exactly.
Is, you know, I think important. It's like, okay, well, I really enjoy whatever it might be, you know, getting the RO fresh water and doing that and putting a cup in every single day. That's something I enjoy because it's, you know, especially if you've only got one tank. One saltwater tank would be way easier than all these guys in here, you know, less time, I'm sure. And being able to produce like that little tank of babies, you know, it's not many, but it's enough to go, well, you know, I created them and I'm going to choose the ones I like and, you know, recreate more from them. And it's just this multi-generational thing that I enjoy. And there's a couple of koi ones in there that Nick gave me from keeping fish simple to introduce some bloodlines into it. So most of the racks on the back wall and a couple on this other side of the rack are on a sump over there. This wall, these 7 tanks are on a sump over here. So everything else in between, I used to have to siphon, take the hose out, you bring the hose in, you do all that sort of stuff. So what I did originally was I got these guys set up where they've got an overflow. I put an overflow in the sump and it runs out to the drain outside, and I don't have to, you know, to worry about that. So it's a constant overflow. Where I feel these guys from was, I guess, the inspiration, if you like, or the catalyst to doing it this way. An inlet here. It's actually hooked to my 5,000 litre rainwater tank, which I can also top up with town water if I need to and treat it. The red goes to the other side of the room, the green goes to this side of the room. If I want to do this side of the room, all I do is turn on that particular valve. I've got a timer, I turn it on, and you'll see pretty quickly, you see the water starts to come in here. So all of the top row of tanks has fresh water coming in. The bottom I didn't bother to do it because ultimately I couldn't get through the back easy enough. But what will happen now is fresh water will flow in and it will flow through the whole system into the sump. The sump will fill up and then it will go out the overflow and then into the drain. If I was going to do those Pleco towers tanks, I'd turn that on for this side of the room. Coming down this way, you can tell how much thought I put into it with being a plumber. It's like way over thought. And I've got them all named as well for all the different tank systems. So this one's going to go to the 6-foot manifold over there, because remember I'm taking water from that side of the room, so I've got it to here. I've then run it around back behind the tanks and over. I'll turn this on now just because I know where it's going to go. And then I'll turn these guys on here, which is this tank here.
It's like a spaceship.
So now all 4 of these tanks are filling with fresh water.
Right.
And you can see it going there. And that will go through the overflow. So these ones have got overflows, and that actually goes into the drain outside and drains into my IBCs, my containers outside, which then I use to pump onto the veggies. I've also got one, for example, for the waterfall tank. So if I wanted water to go into there, there's now water going to that one. The sump that I've got down the bottom drains into the same drain that this one does around there. That does every one of the standalone tanks. On the other side of that rack they've got one of these. I'm just going to turn it off. Just temperature of the tanks outside is way colder. True. So I don't want to, and I've already done a water change on them.
Yeah, fish don't like changes in temperature.
No, not to the point that that's probably about 15 degrees, 14 degrees. So standalone tanks like this one here, there's nothing worse than when you've got to bring in, the buckets to get this amount of water out if you're going to do a 50% water change, or even the siphon hose to run through the house and the cats and the dogs, etc. So I've set up a permanent water siphon system on this. So one of those valves just comes into the back over here where the water comes in. That's the inlet there. To drain it out, what I've done is I've set up a permanent siphon system here, where I've just used an old Eheim canister filter sort of sumpy thing. I've used the same outlet that comes with them, just a screen to stop the the babies going through. And then you see on this side, it basically is just the Eheim filter hose that I've got, or the pump hose, and the canister hose, and then I just turn that on, and because it's a permanent siphon, it'll just run straight out into the drain, and then that drain goes out into my IBCs as well. So then that will just slowly, get down to whatever level that you want to choose. Let's say 50%. Turn this off, turn that on, fill it up, and as long as you don't forget it, you don't overflow it, you're good to go, and it's an easy water change.
What you described too, it's like what a lot of fish farms have. Like I went to Summerland Fish Farms, and Josh has like a continuous overflow system. Yeah. Basically, so you're just filling up the tanks, but then the old water's running out. I guess you might know this a little bit more being a plumber. Like, does it use more water? Do you think using an overflow system for water change as opposed to like siphoning some water out, adding some in?
Definitely.
How much more do you think?
Well, then it comes down to how rigid you are on. Like, you can set a timer up on your tap. So you could have it almost identical if you wanted to. All you got to do is put your timer on, work out how long it takes to get to 100 litres, and go, it's 5 minutes, great. Set your timer for 5 minutes, and then you're going to be, if cost is an issue. But I think you do more water changes because it's so easy. So it's like, oh, that's looking a bit cloudy, and in 10 minutes, you can do a 10% water change in no time, just while I'm quickly feeding the room, which is how I always overflow, because I do, I'll just do a 10%, do that, turn it on, and then I'll go and feed, and I'll go, dope.
And I guess you're not, like if you're not removing the fish waste, you're probably not as efficiently removing nitrates, I suppose, too.
I guess potentially, but because you're putting so much water through, you're diluting it all the time. So, LRB says dilution is the solution. But see, like there's not much, I haven't siphoned this tank other than what I took around that one sponge the other day, which is a little bit of mulm, since it's been set up, which is a few months now, because the cories stir it all up. And then, sponge filters are great. Like they really pick up the particles in the water column, and if you clean them regularly, which I don't, but I should clean them more, but it keeps a really healthy tank. I supercharged that one only a week ago by putting a double sponge on it and getting it twice as tall. Yeah, I just, if you're cories and you've got plecos, which I've got both in there, they keep it, I think finely chewed up and dispersed that it gets picked up by the sponges,
And all your plants as well, like it.
Yeah.
It's that balance.
It is.
A little ecosystem.
They definitely, and even that tank's got pothos growing out the top of it. See out the top there? Well, that one coming out of there, how healthy that one is coming out of there.
Wow, it's beautiful. Nice marbled one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically if you want healthy fish that are low maintenance, having an easy water change system set up, having plants in there, and having a variety of like bottom dwelling fish, I guess you would say, that can...
Yeah, clean-up crew.
Yeah, clean-up crew.
And then of course I've got snails in there as well. Although I've worked out that Acaras eat ram's horn snails. They just smash them.
And they're expensive, aren't they?
Well, they can be, although they can also then get to be pests. The Malaysian trumpet snails are the ones that are pest ones. Yeah. And I've got a few tanks full of pest ones of those guys. Look at these guys, they're breeding for sure.
Goedeidaes.
Yeah, that's definite breeding behaviour. So in theory, if I come down tomorrow and I've got some eggs on the glass, I'll be stoked because I'll get them out. I haven't bred them for a while. But that was a super cold water change yesterday. In fact, I lost a fish in this tank yesterday, and I've got one other one that's not looking real flash or happy over there at the minute. These are the Lake Malawi Pseudotropius solosi. The boys are blue, girls are yellow. They're breeding in there, as you can see. And funnily enough, I forgot I was doing a water change, and I was going to do a 20% and ended up doing like 60%. And I slowly filled it up, but it was still too cold. And I think I shocked certainly one of them to death. The other one was probably on the way out. There's an old male in there as well. But that's a really cool little breeding group I've got. Really happy with them. Again, another one of my favourite tanks. It's like, what's your favourite tank? Wow.
It's too hard to choose.
There are too many, the diversity to be able to say, oh, that's it. You know, is it my saltwater one? Is it this one? Is it the river tank?
There's probably like different things about them.
Yeah, that's it. You know, these are looking pretty good. So these are called new pandas. They're like a white or a golden colour pan. I got those from Ross. Corey's. They're CW51s, I think, is the actual their number. I lost one the other day, which I was super bummed about. So they haven't bred for me, so I've got to work out what I'm going to do there. I'm thinking about just taking that tank off the sump, off the system, letting it sit there, percolate a bit, drop the water down, put some leaves in it, you know, get it going and do the usual stuff to get the cories to breed. This is just a shrimp tank, but I do have two red-bellied tetras in there, which you'll see. I didn't clean that glass for you, I'm sorry. And speaking to Malaysian trumpets and our population.
Oh yeah, look at them all.
They're some of my favourite tetras in there as well. I've got to get some more and breed those guys, and then mostly blue shrimp. But the Goedeidaes, these are, I've got some outside, but they really don't like being out in the cold. I mean, I thought they have done really, really well, but they're just not happy chappies. So these are the ones I've got still inside. I split the group. The Goedeidaes are the ones that give birth with that little umbilical cord for the girls. And
there's a lot of them that are endangered.
These ones, yeah, definitely endangered, if not extinct in the wild, those ones. They used to be called Xenotoca eiseni, and I don't know if they were reclassified, but yeah, Goedeidaes, and they're really the only species I've ever seen in this country.
We're just taking a quick little break because we've got to go put the chickens away.
Hello, girls. I think I explained to you earlier, but I'll repeat on camera, is that this rooster here is son of Cluck, or Cluckson, to Cluck Norris, who's up there in his quarantine pen. So yeah, he basically overthrew his dad and took over the flock and wants to kill his dad.
We got one outside.
Yeah, she'll come in. I've got to get Cluck and put him in. They've been laying eggs in weird places. Got a little choc puff girl in here. She's sweet.
Aww.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I love those ones.
Yeah, she's cute. Now Cluck and I got into a fight around Christmas, on Christmas Day actually. You can see his talons on the back there.
Yeah, wow, you wouldn't want to
No,
get
they go through,
like
they
that.
went through my jeans. They actually ripped my jeans.
Wow.
So this is his bed in here, lots of hay and stuff in there. But this stops his son from, killing him basically.
All right, back to the fish room.
Back to the fish room.
All right, so it's now almost 5:30 because we've just been talking about all the fish and the animals and everything. Like, this always
Chasing
happens.
chickens.
I always know that if I'm coming to film at AB's, it's going to be at least 3 hours, most
true.
likely much more.
Yeah, true.
But what we're going to do is, there's a bit of a storm coming. Hopefully it'll be okay since we're inside anyway. But we've showed you the front tank, so those lights are off now, and we're going to actually walk through this little corridor in here and have a look at some of the beautiful tanks that AB's got set up in there.
Yeah, or not so beautiful, some of them, but yep.
Some with algae, but you know, it's all.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to clean all the tanks for you.
No, I'm not surprised.
These tanks are pretty cool, and they're not too bad. Unfortunately, there's just duckweed that's the problem in this one. I've got black cherry shrimp. Basically, these guys have been there for years. Yeah, the sawasatang and the bulbitis is probably the nice feature plants down there. And this is Ludwigia, which grows out the top really well, but I've just started to get, the duckweed's just getting beyond me at the minute, so I need to spend some time getting rid of that. This has just got dwarf Goedeidaes in there, and they breed, and I really just, I don't do a whole lot to it. They like the camouflage that comes with that much vegetation. This is an interesting Amazon sword too. I don't know the name of it, but I'm really happy with that. One of the crypts as well is quite large in there, and I seem to be able to grow the Sawasatang just so easy, it's not funny. I've got so much of it. This one is a really interesting tank, and unfortunately it's got duckweed on it. I will risk the duckweed and push the stuff out the way because it's got the crested Java fern in there. See the Java fern? It's my main plant that was given to me by Matt Duthie from Duthie Aquatics. And then it's also got, I don't know if it's Christmas moss, but see the way it sort of fans out? It's really beautiful. And it was the only tank that I had the crested Java fern, but now it actually, I've got that growing quite well in other tanks. And there's Napoensis corridoras and green neon tetras in there, but you'll never see them.
Yeah, so many plants in these tanks you can't see the fish.
No. So at the top, mixed rainbows and mixed swordtails, nothing, you know, super unusual or rare in there, although these ones are my babies that I bred, the red rainbows that were originally given to me by Nick. So I'm sure you've seen him before, but he's still going. This is Mr. Wendell, and he is my elephant-nosed moramid. And they're just such a cool fish to look at. Won't take him a second once he realises I put his favourite food in there, which is freeze-dried black worms.
Oh, well, he's very brave now. He used to be shy.
Yeah, let him into that. And his mouth is above his nose.
Oh my gosh, I see it.
Isn't that weird?
That's bizarre.
Oh.
Is he the fish that you had in the African tank? You had like elephant nose types of fish, and they were with the Congo tetras, and they were in one of these.
Yes, you are correct. You are 100% correct, and that's in where the shrimp tank is. So look at your memory. How good's that?
Yes, not so bad. Was that them?
It's him.
Yeah, and it was hard to get shots of him.
Yes, correct. And now he's obviously matured and comes out, and he's not camera shy at all. They do that echolocation, not unlike dolphins, you know, radar, sonar type thing. I've got one more, which is the ghost knife. He was probably about this big when I got him, a tiny little fella, and I'm actually thinking of putting him in this tank down here, which I'll show you him in a second, if he comes out. You can see the big beta boy that I've got in there. There's a whole heap of Adolphoid corridoras hiding out the back, which you won't see. That's a little tank of the Pseudotropheus solosi I've got in there, the bubbies. I've got 2 girls and a boy in there. I'm actually giving that whole group to Nick. But look at the way the Anubis has grown in there under that light. How cool is that?
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's growing really beautiful, isn't it?
Another nice kind of relatively low maintenance plant that you can have.
See, that's a matin filter, which is the sponge all the way to the back. That sponge is the whole back wall is a sponge filter. So Ross built those tanks, or made those tanks for me, including the sponge filters. But what happens is the whole back wall becomes a filtration, but Ross plants them out with plants. So of course, you know, his tanks look spectacular. In fact, that's another great video you could go down and do, as his place is different from the last time, and it looks amazing. But the whole back wall then becomes filtration. So there's Pseudotropheus solosi I've got set up for Nick. I haven't cleaned these tanks for you, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
And I'm going to drop some shrimp in there, some caridina in the end tank over there. But the rest of the tanks, they're all sort of ticking over. I'm about to take these down to a friend of mine who's opened down in Tweed. I think it's called Unique Aquarium, so I'm going to take him down some fish and give him a visit. But they're basically endlers in there. They're goldhead black tetras in here. So this is like
Very
my
nice.
bread and butter type side of the room.
It always reminds me of Nick when people talk about endlers and guppies, because he's said so many times that he gets them mixed up.
Yeah.
And it made me think, I was like, what is the difference between them? But you can see the difference really clearly here, I guess.
Yeah.
Like they just look different. Like endlers seem smaller.
They definitely are. Yeah.
And they don't have the big like fan
Yeah.
kind
And
of
endlers are a guppy, but they're an endler guppy, not a guppy. So they are close, but that's why they crossbreed, which is a problem, you know. Like you'll see.
They don't look good when they crossbreed.
Well, they're total mutts after that. I mean, which is great if you want to create mutts, but like that one that's in there, that girl, whatever it is. Oh yeah, there's a Matai Kori come out. See, isn't it funny
nice.
the way that brine shrimp brings them out, you know, live food. But had she jumped in up here, this entire line is gone. So, particularly if it's a male that gets in here, well, that's just ruined the whole lot. So then these males would start looking like these tiger antlers, the boys, and it just ruins your whole line. So, yeah, you do want to keep them separate unless you're specifically trying to get that tiger line into them, and then selling them as that, I guess. But they're koi guppies down there. They're doing okay with the gold lasers, but again, they're super elusive.
And these are a great breeding fish too for anyone who wants to get into breeding, like
Yes.
even for
Oh,
kids as well.
definitely.
Like they breed like crazy guppies.
Definitely. The black ocellatus, the Tanganikans in there. Yeah, I lost quite a few. I think Nick had a video where he lost his zebra plecos because he miscalculated the chlorine and the chloramines. I'm not even sure he miscalculated. I think they've upped the dosage because I filtered my room forever, no problems, and then I started to smell chlorine coming through the tank, even though it had gone through the tap and had gone through the triple filtration. So that's why I got the tank in place as well. But I lost a lot of Tanganikans, and I've got a feeling that's what that was. So I've got one girl and 2 boys of those left, which I'm desperately hoping to breed. The Malawis, however, did perfectly fine. These are the Alan Acara Kobwe.
I love these guys.
They're beautiful, aren't they? Yeah.
They're really rare too.
They are very rare. For whatever reason, I've been able to breed them, which is good. And you'll see, I think this girl is the one that's holding over here. Too hard to get out though, so I just put more rocks and fake plants in to get more percentage of survival for them. But they're doing pretty well. Like when I feed the little bubbies come out of the rocks and stuff, they're rather predatory. But as you can see, I think I started with 3 or 4.
Yeah, well, it would have been about 3 years ago that I visited, and you just had one male, I think,
that's
and
it.
maybe a female or something. But then Tony gave you some more.
Well, no,
ones.
that was them from
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the 3 of them that I got, yeah. And then off to the left is the green emerald cories. They're all looking for food, and the pencil fish that go with them. So they naturally occurring together, those guys, as far as dither fish, the pencil fish.
These ones with the black liner pencil fish?
Yeah, and they're breeding in there. I started, I think, 3 or 4 or whatever, but I've got more than a dozen in there at the minute, which is really nice to see them breeding because they're super tiny fish, and yeah, just have them breed naturally. I just really enjoy that. I can just set them up and leave them and let them enjoy life, and they breed. So around here, I've got more Tanganikans down here, which would be the they're called Neolamprologus multifasciatus, and I just like to say that. So they're the multis. My crab passed away or got out, I don't know where it is, but she's gone, so I've got to redo this tank. And I've got Julidochromis capilli golds in this tank, which you won't see, although you might. She's sticking out there. Yeah, she's still sticking out there. They just hide so much, it's not funny. My lay lupi died, which I'm pretty devout about, but
all
it is
of them
what
now?
it is, all of them.
Dang. Just for anyone that didn't see these guys, so AB had a really beautiful lay lupi colony.
Yeah.
They are normally very yellow lay lupi, but he managed to breed some purple ones.
Purple.
But I think luckily you got a few of them out there.
I did, yeah.
So someone out there probably.
I probably sold a
has
dozen
some.
of them at least, if not more.
Yeah.
So
if you're one of the people that have
yeah,
them, comment
let me
below.
know. Please let me
Let's know
know.
if they live on.
Now that would be very cool. Got in this one, which are Tanganikans, I've got the Ornata pinus here, got a boy there, girl there, and I've got some Septochromis black bees, which again I didn't clean the tank for you, I'm sorry.
I can see that silhouette.
Yes, you can. Yeah, they look like fish. Trust me.
They look like fish. I'll put a photo up.
Yeah, perfect. And then they'd be up there, so I'd make this just a shrimp tank, and then this just a shrimp tank. This light blue yesterday, would you believe? But I've got red cherry shrimp in here. You'll see them all up there on the Sawassa tank. Doesn't it look cool the way that Sawassa tank's gone like that? Gone into like a ball, and this one even over here. Actually, they don't let me torch. I went and got batteries for you, didn't I? They're the same thing, like in the ball type shape that it's got, and it just fills out. But even the crypts, the crypts are doing super well. I don't do hardly any water changes, and I just let it, it's only had the 2 spotlights on top of it up until yesterday. But as I was saying, orange would then be up there, red would be there. I'd probably take the divider out and put the blue through there. Just guppies in there, blue topaz. I like these guys too. They're the Dumbo, the tricoloured Dumbo ears.
I love those front fins.
I think so as well. They're one of my faves, and they're really hardy, easy to breed. If you want some guppies for anywhere up there that you want, let me know. I'll give you some of these guys. And
I was thinking about setting up a guppy tank, but I decided I had too many tanks for now with my other animals. So.
I know how that goes. So yeah, the other thing that's growing really well in the fish room is Blixa japonica, and I wanted to say that just because I like to say Blixa japonica.
Yes. People really liked when we were talking about the South African swear word, but it means like lightning in Dutch or something. It's like bliksem or something.
It's cool, huh? More of the these guys. But aren't the girls nice? Look at the colours of the girls there.
They're your Dumbo tri-coloured
Yeah, same
ones.
colour, just a second tanker backup of the,
Very nice.
the tricolours. But the girls have actually looked beautiful. These are Maculatus rasbora, which you'll see some just in there.
It's good with the torch.
Yeah, it is good with the torch. And in with a heap of orange cherry shrimp. And I've got some booze and some bits and pieces. You see the cherry shrimp there. This has got more electric blue Acaras, but they are as nervous and skitty as whatever. So, but yeah, you'll see them. There's half a dozen there and 3 angels.
So even with plants, like there's so much variety in the aquarium hobby. Like you can spend as little or as much as you like. These little Busa
Philandra, yeah.
are quite expensive, but tiny.
I'm going to take a guess, but you're looking at probably $30, $35, $40 for those one stems, you know, to, and they do grow. I mean, I'll show you how they've gotten. Those guys come from the one around here, but it's like you make that investment and then hope that it grows, and when it does and it takes off, you're away, you know. So that's like it took me forever to buy some sawasatang, you know. Speaking of which, I got a ton in here. So yeah, you'll see the sawasatang, the 24 karat gold guppies. I've got a heap of stirby corridors as well as an Adolphi corridor. You'll see a couple of Adolphis in there as well. And believe it or not, I've got 2 female and 1 male beta living in there.
Oh, no way.
So here's the male over here. You might see him through there. So Nick gave me that one as a female, a white female with just light blue tint on her fins. And then I dropped a male in there because I thought I had 2 other white females, so I had 3 females in there. So I thought I dropped a male in there. And within a day, he changed his shape, he changed his fin colours, and he turned into a male. And his colours have come out. So he's got 2 girls in there and himself, and because there's enough cover and all the rest of it. See, but that was the white female that I thought that Nick gave me, but she's a boy.
Is that your shiny, what are you, sparkling gouramis?
Sparkling gouramis, yeah.
Shiny gourami.
I'm sort of, the light's just about to go off, unfortunately, but if you can see, before the light goes, can you see how blue he is in there?
Yeah. Oh,
doesn't it? And that's
reflection.
I did just clean that tank, but it was really murky and dirty, so I was a bit reluctant to show it to you. But anyway, the light's gone off, so that's like perfect. Yeah, they're sparkling gouramis, but I did a water change on them yesterday. They don't mind the water change, but the temperature difference, and they just haven't been happy chappies since I did it. They're still in there because I've seen them darting around the back, but that's just how it goes, I guess, isn't it, for dealing with fish. I'll move this stuff off my bench.
I wonder if the storm makes them behave different too. Some people
Definitely.
have heard that from.
Yeah, particularly with corridors, they talk about changes in barometric pressure.
Yeah.
Is like a trigger to breed. So when there's a storm around, do a water change, a cooler water change, 2 to 3 degrees, and then that's what kicks your cories on, you know. I redid the shrimp bowl over here. So
It used to be a beta bowl.
yeah, I just sort of, I thought I'd had enough of him being in that particular bowl and wanted him to have a little bit more room, even though it's not a whole heap more. And I plan on putting them like these guys in the bigger tanks. I think they're great in big tanks. I really think they enjoy it. They certainly shouldn't be kept in cups. You know, I understand why stores do it, but you know, I don't think it's ideal for them. So I've got a mixed Skittles bowl of shrimp in there, and that's doing well. This is the other nano tank I've got, which is for blue cherry shrimp, and I actually just sort of turn the lights like this during the day. I move them around so that you can see. The plants that I've chosen, I guess for ease, like everything else in the room, just the maintenance, you know, the least maintenance, the better. So Sawasatang I grow brilliantly. It grows in a cupboard, like it is.
Yeah, you got it everywhere.
It is just so easy to grow in dark conditions. Then you start looking at other stuff like the Anubias in there, growing in dark conditions. It loves it. The thin leaf Java growing in dark conditions. So, you know, you're choosing the plants for the type of location they're in. The other one on the opposite end of the scale, which is the higher, if you want to look at it that way, light requirements. So with this, only, you know, maybe an hour or 2 a day, I'll sort of turn that around and I can change it to different sort of light premises. So you can see our purple, that brings out the purple in the Busa Philandra. And again, just picking in, you know, scavenging bits and pieces here and there, take it across there, it starts to grow, replicate the conditions, you know. That stuff is growing in relatively high light, but at times, the majority of the day, it'd be more like, you know, like that type of conditions. The baby tears or whatever it is that I got down there, Monte Carlo. Yep. These are pretty cool. I've got to show you these. These are my rainbow guppies. So these are just the guppies I crossed of all of the guppies that I liked, the golds and the 24 carats and also the Dumbo ears. And look, they've come out with like a rainbow test dude here.
Yeah.
And I really like that. They've got red, yellow, blue, and a bit of green in them as well. So I've been pushing that. But you can see, look, I've got Anubias in here. Look how nice that Anubias is. Zero light. Large leaf Java fern, zero light. Large leaf Java fern. Crested Java fern leaf here. And it literally is, that's the amount of light that tank gets, and you know, and it grows brilliantly. So I think horses for courses, choose the plants that are going to work in your conditions rather than the ones that you really would love to grow. Now if you really would love to grow them, great, buy the lights and the stuff that you need to support them.
Yeah, and absolutely, and these little nano tanks, like they take up, you can put them on your bedside table.
Yeah, and I run them all on air, so there's no pumps in them, and it's just an air line that runs an air stone in here. And again, I've done a video on how I that's an under gravel filter that I made myself and run through. That's just runs through the end here, through the sponges, through the biofilter, and comes out. So it's just run by air. You'll see the air system over the back over there.
Yeah.
So it's just nothing more than an air uplift tube, and the same type of thing in that one that just runs around. So I'm not running any pumps, and it literally is just the cost of the air. If you're looking to do a nano tank, you know, in your kids' room or on your bench or whatever, you need a little air filter and a light, and that's basically it. And a heater if you're somewhere cool, you know. And the beta that was in there, he's down here hiding. So these are little biofilters, just like the shrimp tank. It's certainly big enough for a beta to stretch out a bit, feel comfortable. You know, it's probably the smallest I'd keep them in. But again, almost no light, and I've got masses of, I've even got the little crips growing well out here actually. But yeah, I do want to see them into some larger tanks each, would be pretty cool. Bring them into these sorts of containers to grow them out and prep them for breeding and, you know, those sorts of things. They're quite happy in there. I put lots of mosquito larvae in there, spent ages chasing them. They've got little spots to sleep and hang out, which is cool. Oh, we didn't do these ones. This is the sump I was talking about before. Yes, it's full of endler guppies, I know. They're in every single compartment because they've got through that sponge up there. What am I going to do about it? I don't know.
They're forever.
I really don't know. I've tried catching them. They're a nightmare. They go into the...
Maybe your pet water dragon will eat them.
Wouldn't that be good? Wally the water dragon, yeah. We haven't seen him yet. So my sump broke, did a video on that, and I did this new setup with these tubs, which was way easier and, you know, way more manageable, but I didn't count on the endler guppy infestation. Similarly, I'd do something like that over there. I wouldn't mind a section with like rotating biomedia and stuff would be pretty cool, you know, the floating moving bed filters. While we're down in this section, we've got the Mickey Mouse plate. This is one of my favourite tanks actually. I really like the way it's grown in. The red Chinese lotus has stayed pretty red underwater, which is great because I heard that when they get to the top, they, you know, and they go green, that they don't actually stay red underwater. But I've had that flower. It's a nocturnal flowering plant, and you know, once the lights go off and the blue light goes on, it'll actually send up bulbs.
Is that the red lotus down there too?
Well, that's what that is.
Yeah, yes.
And then see on top how it goes green on top. And this one flowers. This one actually flowers for me. This one's in a pot. That one hasn't flowered once, and it's not near the blue light. And I genuinely think it's the blue night light that actually brings it on. And of course, they're my other Acaras that I've got. You don't need 100 Acaras, do you at all?
No, not at the moment, but never know. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It'd be fun if you ring me next week and say, listen, I'll take 100 Acaras.
Yeah, now we've said it, something will come up.
Yeah.
For my dams.
Yeah.
It's probably illegal.
Wouldn't that be good? And then, of course, these are the your Instagram famous stir-bys. We talked before on my little video, but when you get 1 million views on releasing these guys, didn't you?
Yeah, something like that.
That's crazy.
Very popular.
So I reckon I've still got at least 200, if not more. They're bred in there a few times.
So this is the waterfall tank that we did.
Oh yeah, so the waterfall's not working.
Oh.
The pump blew out, and then I went to get another one and it, down the back, and it didn't work. And then I thought, well, I actually need to put a pump on the saltwater tank. So I thought, well, I'll take one pump away from the system and not cost me so much money, and put a new pump on the system. So I didn't kick that off again.
Oh, well, you've got a replacement waterfall tank out the front of the house.
I do,
now.
yeah. But I think we've covered all the tanks. What do you reckon?
We've made a pretty good round. Adrian's fish room as well, if you guys
want
to learn more about this beautiful setup that he's got here.
That'd be awesome. I'd be very happy, very appreciative.
What's the time now?
Yeah,
6 o'clock.
it is. Yeah, bang on, or just after, literally
Been
just
here
after
about
6 o'clock.
3.5 hours.
Which is not too bad for us, really.
It's not too bad as always. I really appreciate you having me here, and
My pleasure.
yeah, it's been amazing. I'm sure the subscribers really appreciate it too, being able to have a look at everything you've got going on here and the wealth of knowledge that you share as well in each video is incredible.
Thank you, I really appreciate that. No, you're more than welcome. I love having you come and hanging out and, you know, do the things that we do. And yeah, look, I just really am stoked that you guys have actually, yeah, followed on this long and just hung out this long in the video. So.
Yeah. And thank you to the subscriber as well for donating the beers. As well.
Yeah, that was very cool. And if you want to reach out on Instagram, please do so. And I can say thank you in person. I really, truly did appreciate that. That's pretty cool.
Well,
yeah, thank you.
And subscribe if you appreciate these videos and enjoy them. That's a way that's for free that you can show support. And
oh yeah, no, that it really helps out, doesn't it? When you get to that point, and you're getting close to 100,000 as well, which is so cool. Like that's going to be great.
I really appreciate all of the subscribers on the channel. I'm sure Adrian does as well.
It's incredible actually. Some of the people, like some of the messages. I don't know if you get on when you post a video up and check out the message and all the rest of it. 99% are just brilliant, and it's just amazing. The community, I think, is brilliant. I reckon.
Yeah, it's amazing. And actually, like when I started, I guess, posting online, I wasn't sure how it would go because you know how online can be a little bit hit and miss.
Yeah.
But like the aquarium community has been so welcoming from day one, which I guess has kept me, interacting online. Like I actually, if you go through my inbox, every message is just a nice message and so polite
too.
And yeah.
Mine too. Offering help and advice and goodwills and prayers and thank yous. And
yeah, and I mean, it's taken me around the world as well and being able to meet people. Like, it's just been incredible. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone too for being on this journey, because I know I haven't uploaded in a long time as well. But
I get lots of questions about that. Why are you okay?
yes, I'm definitely okay. Maybe at the end of the video, for those who are interested, I can explain a little bit about what's been going on as well, just to keep you in the loop and everything. Basically, I'm still planning on uploading on this channel. The only problem is that I've had to focus so much on the farm animals recently. Like my goose got sick, my goats had babies, we had to do a new fence. So I've had so much content in that area and nowhere to put it. So that's why I decided to make things simpler, and I've actually started a channel called Kaity's Homestead, an Instagram page and a Facebook. It's all under that. I'll link it in the bio. Please feel free to follow on Instagram and Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. I'm just going to put some shorts up, but I'll put some longer videos on there as well, and just more kind of casual vlog style stuff for the people interested in that side of things, because I understand that everyone on this channel subscribed originally for aquariums and fish, and not all of those people may be interested so much in the farm stuff, and I don't want to destroy your algorithm for you. I want to keep this being an aquarium channel. You will hear from me soon. Just as first half a year has been pretty tough, just settling in. Change is never that easy, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means that it needs a little bit more energy and effort to get things kind of rolling. But we are almost at 100,000 subs. We're just past 99K, so if you've been following this channel for a while and you haven't hit subscribe button yet, and you want to help us get over the line, I would really, really appreciate it. But thank you so much for all of your support over the years and for being so patient through this change. I really appreciate it. All right, we're just going to test this shot.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
So I can't remember if I pressed record.